You ever have this perfect idea of how you want things to go, but then when it comes down to it, you're like, how in the world am I even going to get started? And if I get started, am I going to lose momentum? And I think that happens with a lot of us these days. We have this purpose, this desire to want to do something, and we get ready to go. We think the plan out. We really want to have the plan figured out. We really want to start the plan, but we may never ever get to that point in our life because we have the fear of the unknown. We have this fear of taking a risk, this fear of really diving in deep and trying it out because we fear what could happen, what abnormalities can occur, and what the repercussions could be. Sometimes we fear, how will we start? How will we not lose momentum? How will we be able to keep the progress going? And sometimes we wonder if this is just another cathartic way of resolving the pain inside that we have because we're trying to cope with it through our purpose in life. And I want to say that every job should have a purpose, and every thing done in life should be with intention, and every intentional thing should result in what you want it to be. But let's think about it theoretically. Theoretically, we're here because we've challenged ourselves internally. We've sat alone in our thoughts for too long. We've dived deep in our thoughts, and we thought, maybe this isn't going to work, maybe this is going to work. And that's the struggle I find with a lot of things in life. It's a quid pro quo. And sometimes it can be paradoxical, meaning sometimes you might not necessarily know what's going to happen, but you want to try. And you have this vision in your head, but you don't want to distort that vision. You don't want to try what it is, because as a result, if you try what it is that you're looking for, you might be disappointed. You don't want to disappoint yourself, because disappointment would ruin that perfect image you have of this desire. Maybe it's starting a business, and maybe it's something as simple as going the next step in your goal in your physical fitness. But I want to say that these dreams, these desires, these passions, don't miss out on them. I have this desire to help others. I have this passion, this desire to be a life coach. I want to be the one that connects the person with self-care. I want to allow others to know that self-care is important. I want to let others know that self-care is something you can simply involve in your daily life. You can't say you have no time. You can't say you have no availability to do the self-care, because self-care can be as simple as 10 minutes a day reading, listening to a podcast, taking time to journal. And sometimes we lose ourselves when we don't take time to self-care for ourselves. We lose ourselves in the midst of chaos. We lose ourselves simply because we have lost what our purpose is. Our purpose can be a vision, a dream. But if we lose that purpose or intention in life, we lose it all. We simply lose focus and clarity, and fogginess creeps in. We lose the vision, the vibe, the energy. And believe me, it's so easy to lose that energy because the energy gets distorted. You start thinking that you need something else that you don't need in your life, like material items, and vastly different things. And what you really need in your life is the focus, the clarity, the mindset, the ability to know that your purpose, your matter, and your desires count in this world, your self-value. And you can easily lose these things when you lose focus of what you really need in this world. Don't be distorted. Don't let others allow you to control your thoughts. Don't lose out on this image and don't lose out on why you value yourself. Valuing yourself is not more than just the word itself, but it shows others and yourself that you matter, and it integrates in helping create the mindset that you have a purpose. So these goals, these dreams, these desires you have in your life to do something, to achieve something, to be a part of something, to really create something in this world is not just a desire, dream, and it's not lost on reality because you have the ability to make it happen. You have every day as a gift to make it happen. And yes, my desire might seem challenging because where would I find the clients? Where would I find the people to impact in my life? But when you start telling yourself that you have this great ability to draw in energy and others like you around you, when you tell yourself it is possible, I am going to find these clients, I am going to find these types of people, you're consistent with your work. I mean, consistent with content creation, consistent with exercise, whatever it is to get you where you need to be, it's going to happen. The consistency part is something that bores me sometimes, I want to say. I lost the ability to be consistent and have grit when I realized that things have burned me in the past when I've shown or exhibited this behavior. Things have shown me that I put in all this work to receive nothing in the end. And I think that's where I struggle, or others struggle as well. You put in all this, your persistence, your passion, your desires into this one project, this next goal in life, and you realize that you have put in so much work to get where you want to be, but you don't see results. Now, don't let that discourage you because results are not always overnight. They're not the next week. They're not next year. And this is like relying on God to answer a prayer immediately. It happens in due timing. Sometimes it's a sign that it wasn't meant to be. Sometimes it's something that was never meant to happen. And sometimes it shows you that your direction needs to be changed. You need to change direction and look at it a different way. And I still struggle with this today. I wonder, should I be a life coach? Should I have a different view on life? Should I be in a different point in my life? And you're right exactly where you should be in life. But sometimes you have to recenter yourself. Sometimes you have to retrain your mindset. Sometimes you have to realize that consistency is key and that finding that purpose or that balance is essential. And sometimes you have to tell yourself that it might not be easy, but at the end of the day, you have been consistently persistent with your purpose and working toward your goal. And I struggle because I wonder if I really did this life coach thing, would I distort my idea of it, my momentum and my thought about being the one that can help others. I have no doubt I can help others, but I struggle with finding the clients that I would need to get to that desire, to get to that, the idea of creating retreats, helping people through yoga, through self-care, and showing them a life that they deserve. Showing them that they matter, that their self-worth and how they feel impacts how much they can give back to others. I know it's crazy because you go your whole life and you don't realize until you make it to adulthood that you could be so utterly burnt out. And I say this because it's such a different version of burnout than I ever thought it could be. It's so strong and so real that burning out or being burnt out is like a grieving thing. Like you grieve the life that you used to live. You grieve the thoughts. You grieve the feelings. You remember at one point in your life you felt so real, I want to say. You felt like nothing was paining you and everything was of purpose and everything was of value. And then you realize that there are things in life that step in and distract you. There are things in life that really erode at you. There are things in life that you let get to you so personally, so emotionally. And it's almost at this point where you feel like you care too much. And so you struggle. And so you really work hard to be a different version of yourself. And this version of yourself might be the new version of yourself because you're letting go of the past, the trauma, and the hurt. But never giving up on your goals, or never giving up, or never losing sight of what you have for your dreams, and knowing that your impact can make a difference on another person's life. And that's truly my intention with this. So if you follow me through my podcast so far, I really appreciate you. I know that my life can be chaotic and my podcast stories can be crazy as well, but at least I appreciate you following and knowing that maybe that you can relate to my life. Maybe you have a challenge. Maybe you have some type of thing that you can relate to somehow in my podcast, just being a mom of 3 and struggling to, find purpose, find value, and reset my mind mentally multiple times, because it doesn't happen overnight, and it's something you have to work at consistently to get there. And that's the same with your goals and your dreams and your desires in life. And don't think that you can tarnish your view of what your dreams or desires are in life if you start to work at them and chip away at them, because all you'll see is the reality of it all. And reality sometimes is rough, but you will see results after consistency and being real with it.